Hey, Conor here, Neversink Farm, and it's a question we get a lot at Tools, and that is, how long does the propane last on a flame weeder? That depends. You know, it's hard to answer that kind of question, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay, so I'm gonna just reference the Inferno, which is, it has two bells, meaning two torches where the flame comes out. And the important thing when you're running a flame weeder is that you're not running it too hot. Weeds die at 160. You want to keep your flame low, and the way you know when that's happening is when, after you flame the bed with weeds on it, they should die an hour later. If they're dying as you're passing them, the flame is way too hot. But if you have it at the right power, right, just a low roar, and you can watch my video on lighting flame weeder for more information about it. Obviously, it's going to last a lot longer, and you're going to be more efficient. But using it at really, really high, you're going to use a lot more propane. You're going to be damaging your equipment. It's unsafe, but you're going to go through propane, you know, pretty quickly too. But you're not actually killing more weeds. Okay, so if you have it at the right temperature, it's only a 2 bell. Now it's how many gallons are you gonna go through? I'd love to say I know, but I have no idea, right? These are 2.5 gallon tanks. I only put 2 gallons in them. I don't like it too full when I start out. I feel like it's too much pressure. So I put 2 gallons in them when I go fill them up. These you can fill up at any place you do a barbecue tank. They'll fill them up for you. There's a link on our Neversink Tools site on the flame weeder page to buy these things on Amazon, so anybody can pick one up. I recommend smaller tanks. There's a whole bunch of different tanks. You can go down to like a 1 gallon tank, I think now, but for that size flame weeder, I think any size will work. You just don't want a big gigantic one because it's just too big, like a 5 gallon. So for 2 gallons, I have 3 of these tanks so that I could switch them out, so that when I have 2 empty ones, I could bring 2 in, get them refilled. In a whole season, I'm gonna use maybe 3 tanks, so 6 gallons. How many feet? I don't know how many feet that is. But I would say a tank is probably gonna get you a whole 1/4 acre. You know, it depends how slow you're walking, how high you have it, all of that. So unfortunately, I can't give you an exact number, but it's certainly not gonna be 5 minutes that it's over, and it's not gonna last all day, right? If you're walking around for hours, it's gonna eventually be depleted. So the important thing is just to have a few tanks so that when you gotta fill it up, just fill it up, and it doesn't really matter, right? And whether it's, you know, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, what does it matter, right? As long as it's not 5 minutes and you have to keep changing them out. That's not gonna happen unless your tank is, unless your setup is flaming way too high, right? If it's all freezing up too, then it's too high as well, okay? Because that's the boiling off of the propane. It's boiling off too fast, and that's why it's freezing up. And I always recommend having a adjustable regulator. It's the best. It's the only one I sell on Neversink Tools, highly recommended. And using a squeeze valve. A squeeze valve is going to save tons and tons of propane, because as you're transporting it, you're going to be burning very, very little. A squeeze valve, when you depress it, that's when you're flaming. When you let go of the handle, it's only going to be on a pilot flame, which is burning very little propane. So if you're worried about how much you're using, I highly recommend a squeeze valve. All right, so thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful. Till next time.